Hi everybody, and happy new moon time. I am so glad that you are joining me this season. If you are new here, my name's Katie and I am behind the profile Mountain Girl Wellness. And each month around the new moon, I do a new moon meditation circle. Normally this would be an in-person event, but just due to some stuff I have going on personally, it worked better for me to be able to do this online for a couple of months. But I also thought it would be a great opportunity for those of you who are not able to attend my circle in person to be able to experience it and also still be a part of it. So I do want to get back to eventually doing in-person circles soon, but until then I am happy to be able to share this with everyone around the world, whoever finds this online. So that being said, all of my content that I use within my meditation specifically for this new moon time comes from the Wild Woman Project, and if you would like to find out more about them, you can at www.thewildwomanproject.com. They have a lot of different offerings that you can check out and interact with, so I definitely encourage you to do that. Also, this video is just donation based. Normally my circle, there is an exchange for the in-person circles, but seeing as how this is a recorded version, you aren't getting the full experience, although I'm gonna try to do as much as I possibly can. So this is only gonna be like a donation based space. If you feel moved to donate financially, all of my information is in the bio below this video, but that is not necessary either if you're not able to do that. I also really appreciate, and sometimes appreciate this even more, is to have you share my profile with your friends and family on your social media, or like and share, interact with anything I post. It helps me out a lot just to get my videos out there. So if that's something you're able to do, please, I really appreciate it so very much. So with that being said, New Moon Meditation Circle is a safe spot, a sacred space. So it's gonna take, usually the video version, the in-person version usually lasts about 2 hours, but the video is about 1 hour. So before you get started, I encourage you to set up your space. Get really comfortable. You might want to grab some blankets and pillows, a yoga mat. You might want to light some candles or some incense, have some crystals around you, whatever you want to do to set up your space and make it feel like that sacred space for you to be able to enjoy these meditations, to take it in, and most importantly, you might want to have a journal and a writing utensil so that you can record anything that you might want to remember later on, further into the moon cycle, to kind of check back in with your intentions that we are going to set for ourselves. So with that being said, we will go ahead and get started. So to start out every circle, I do light a candle together, so we are going to go ahead and do that today. If you have a candle available with you, you can light it with me. So let this flame represent the wild spirit that burns within each of us. And as we ignite our own wild spirits, we ignite the collective spirit. So to get started, we are going to enjoy together just a short centering meditation. So traditional meditation seat is sitting cross-legged on your glutes with your sits bones ground into the floor. But if that is not a comfortable position for you, please do whatever you need to feel most comfortable, whether that's laying down or whatever you need to do. So go ahead and get comfortable, feeling the ground beneath you. If you are seated, making sure you are grounding those sits bones down into the ground or the mat below you, letting the shoulders drop back and down the spine, and lifting the crown of the head towards the ceiling or the sky, creating a long, straight spine. When you're ready, allowing the eyes to drop closed. Just allow yourself to begin to arrive here in your space. Feeling the ground stable beneath you. Noticing the air on your skin. Not thinking about anything that has occurred before this present moment, and not worrying about anything that you have coming after. You might begin to notice the natural breath that you have today. Don't try to manipulate the breath in any way, just notice it. Focusing on the inhales and the exhales. Turning all your focus here and using that breath as an anchor point within your body. So if ever your mind begins to wander, if it becomes jumbled, you can come back to the breath and use it to refocus the mind. And as you continue to breathe, you might begin to notice that your exhale starts to lengthen a little bit and slow down. And as your exhales lengthen and slow, your inhales will naturally grow deeper, lasting a little bit longer, letting more air, clean, fresh prana and energy into the body. And as you begin to breathe in this way, taking long, deep breaths, see if you can allow that breath to enter the body, traveling down into the chest. Allow it to keep going further down. Seeing if you can slowly guide it with each inhale farther down into the abdomen, and maybe even down below the belly button. Traveling all the way down that center line of the body with each inhale, bringing in a new breath to add to that energy. With every exhale, letting go of the old energies. Might take a few breaths to allow the breath that you are taking to travel down that far through the body, but that's okay, there's no rush. as you make your way there, you're now taking these deep belly breaths. No rushing and no forcing it, just allowing it to arrive when it is ready. Continually focusing on the inhales and the exhales, training the mind to pay attention to them. Now you might be taking some of the deepest, longest breaths that you have taken all day. And stay there with that breath for a moment. On your next inhale, start to gather all of that new breath and energy that we've built in our bodies, and using the inhales, begin to pull it up into the mind space. Might once again take a few breaths to get it up here, but with every inhale, focus that new breath, pulling it up into the mind. Once you feel like you have fully arrived here, again, take your time, there's no rush. But once you feel like your presence is fully within your mind space, observe how it looks and feels in this present moment. Don't again try to manipulate or change anything. Just notice how your mind space feels, how it looks. You might see shapes, colors, pictures, people, scenes, or you might see nothing at all, and that's okay. Just be an observer of your own mind for a moment. When you're ready, on your next inhale, begin to connect with that breath once more and use the inhale to pull that energy down out of your mind space, down into your heart space, that space where the heart chakra is in the center of your chest. Pulling that energy down and making a connection with that breath from your mind and your heart. And when you fully arrive there, observe how the heart space is feeling today. Again, no manipulation, no changing it, just observing. Does it coincide with how your mind was feeling, or maybe it's completely different? Just observe it and be within this space for a few breaths. When you feel ready, I ask you to use that breath to make a connection with whatever it is that you hold as divine. This could be a higher power, it could be a force within the universe, or maybe even just a force within yourself. But whatever the divine means to you, take a moment here to create a connection to it, rounding out and finishing that connection of mind, body, and spirit. Being open to anything that might come to you as we continue on through our meditations. And just be here with the divine for a moment. And as you feel ready, just begin to slowly allow the breath to return to your natural state of breathing. Remembering that those deep belly breaths are always here for you should you need to refocus and re-anchor. And as you find yourself ready, begin to slowly peel the eyes back open. And take a moment here to pause this video and turn towards your journal to maybe record anything that you might want to remember throughout that centering that came to you, anything that you might have seen in your head space or your heart space or through your connections. So pause me and come back when you are ready. Okay, so as I said, this is my new moon meditation circle in video form. So why do I do this at new moon time? Well, as I said, I am a circle leader with the Wild Woman Project, and new moon time is a representation. There's no energy in the moon, right? It's completely dark. It's a time of starting over and a new beginning of a new phase and a new season. So it's the perfect time to check in with yourself and set intentions for yourself moving forward. So that is why we do this within the new moon time, and the phases of the moon kind of coincide with a lot of different things. So once you get to the full moon, it's full of energy, and you can kind of check in. We'll recheck in with our intentions that we set at new moon time. So, yeah, that's why we do this for the new moon. So this new moon is the new moon in Gemini. Gemini is represented by the twins. It is associated with the element of air, and it's ruled by the planet Mercury. So Gemini is also a mutable sign, which means that it's easily changed or manipulated, not necessarily in a negative way, but you can see with the two powers of the two twins, they might not always have the same ideas or thought processes. So a lot of times things can be mutated or changed within the Gemini. And with Gemini, Gemini are really quick-witted and fast-paced, fast-moving. So this month might feel like a little bit turbulent, but sometimes those hard things are just the sign that something new is coming. It's a time of messages and new beginnings as well. And stepping into a new territory can feel very vulnerable and a new beginning, but there's also a lot of new information and chances for new horizons. So don't be afraid this month to kind of take that step. And I think that's all I have to say about specifically Gemini. There's a lot more wealth of information that you can find online, of course. But I want to move more into our theme for the month. So every year, the Wild Woman Project starts new series that go from fall all the way around to the next fall. And right now, we are within the series called The Path of the Poets, where each month at each new moon time, the meditation that we offer is inspired by a female poet who really embodies what the Wild Woman Project embodies. So each month we take a different theme and a different poet and specifically one of their poems to kind of inspire the meditation that we offer. So this month's theme is called Turbulence, and it is inspired by the poet Adrienne Rich. And Adrienne Rich is unfortunately no longer with us. She passed in 2012, but she was a prolific poet, very active in the feminist community. She actually famously declined the National Medal of Arts that was trying to be awarded to her in protest of things that were going on in the House at that time. So if you're interested, again, you can look more into Adrienne Rich and her life and her works. But today we're going to specifically be looking at her poem, also titled Turbulence. This poem, I'm going to read it to you here in just a second. It comes from her last book that she authored called Tonight No Poetry Will Serve. So if you want to look into that book, or if you want to take a closer look at the poem Turbulence, I encourage you to do so. So I am going to read the poem to you here really quickly, and so I just would like to ask of you that you maybe just sit, close your eyes, and just take in the poem, let the poem wash over you. Something really great about poetry that we've been talking about throughout this series is that we all might hear the same words, we experience the same poem, however we experience it differently. We pull different meanings from it, different things that might be going on in our life right now that connect with us. So that's the really beautiful thing about poetry. So really try to sit and see this poem through the eyes of a poet and hear the meanings that come to you. So with that being said, I'm going to read the poem here really fast. This is Turbulence by Adrienne Rich. There'll be turbulence. You'll drop your book to hold your water bottle steady. Your mind has mountains, cliffs of fall. Me who never hung there, let him watch the movie. The plane's supposed to shudder, shoulder on like this. It's built to do that. You're designed to tremble too. Else break higher you climb. Trouble in minds, lungs labor, heights hurl vistas. Oxygen hangs ready overhead. In the event, put on the child's mask first. Breathe normally. Alright, so that was the poem. Obviously, she uses a lot of symbolism from an airplane. I think most of us have experienced this, or probably at least seen it in some shape or form, where if you hit turbulence, there's the oxygen masks in the ceiling and that feeling of climbing and the plane shaking. But something that really stood out to me personally was the line about the water bottle, because I do that all the time, where I will drop something that I have in my hands, and in order to save that one thing, I will just like let everything else fall to the floor. And I think that's an interesting metaphor about reaching for that thing that is either most important to you or most necessary. She drops the book to save the water, this thing that we need. But I don't want to go too far into what I got out of the poem, because I want you to explore how the poem felt to you. So if you do need a moment here to pause the video, maybe go back and listen to the poem read one more time, or even maybe pull it up on your own and read it through. Please feel free to pause me at any point if you do want to do that, and kind of journal and explore what you get out of this poem for yourself. And then we will all move into the main meditation inspired by this poem and by Adrienne Rich here in just a moment. So first, before we move into our main meditation, something I always like to do in my in-person circles is to let you guys all pull an oracle card. Now, if you are unfamiliar with oracle cards, they're a little bit different than a tarot card would be. They're not a tool that's gonna tell you your future or predict anything, but the cards are mainly just a tool to tap into your own intuition. Most of the things that you see within the cards, you know already deep down. You just don't know that you know it, or you don't know that you have come to that realization. So they're almost like a writing prompt, sort of, to spark that knowledge within you and spark that connection with your intuition, kind of make you think and see these answers for yourself. So since we are not in person and you guys can't pull your own card, if you have a deck there at home that you would like to pull something, then definitely I encourage you to do so. But I'm going to pull a group card from my deck here as kind of our community card. And today, I always like to use different oracle cards, whatever kind of speaks to me at that point in the new moon time. But today I am using the Rose Oracle from Rebecca Campbell. And it's a pretty common, I think, deck that you can find pretty much anywhere. But I just really enjoy Rebecca Campbell's decks because I think she always gets really beautiful illustrators, and the artwork on the cards is always very beautiful. So I've been shuffling here while we've been chatting about what an oracle card is, and I'm gonna go on and draw a card for us as a community. So let's maybe all close our eyes and set our intention on the deck. And take one big inhale and exhale together. And I'm just gonna shuffle and draw the card that needs to come to us today. All right, so the card I have pulled is called Temple of the Rose. An ancient power, expression, activation, and scarlet codes. So I will show you the card, and take in maybe actually pause this for a moment and look at the imagery, look at any numbers, colors, the words. See what you get out of this card. Take a moment to journal about it, what you see within the card. It might come to you, you might know what it means immediately, or it might not. You might see something within your moon phase this month later on, and then it resonates with you later on. So go ahead and pause this so you can take a moment to look at it. Trying to hold it as steady as I possibly can, but I will also post a picture of it later on after this video on my Instagram and Facebook page under Mountain Girl Wellness, so that you can take a closer look at it. And I am going to, after you've had a chance to see what you get out of it yourself, I am going to read you what the creator also had in mind for the card. It might be a different meaning than what you got, and that is perfectly okay. So let me find it, and then I will read that to you. All right, so Temple of the Rose. For millennia, feminine power, expression, and wisdom have been suppressed. As a result, the feminine has been silenced, dismissed, and disrespected. We've become disconnected from the earth and the Earth Mother, and have stopped revering our elders. But times are finally changing, and we're all part of this change. Every time we honor our body, express our wisdom, share our voice, and connect with our sensuality, we heal the sacred thread of the feminine. Every time we call back our power, we heal the sacred thread of the feminine. Every time we come together in circle, we heal the sacred thread of the feminine. And every time we honor our cyclic nature and the cycles of nature, we heal the sacred thread of the feminine. Regardless of which gender you identify with, this is a card of calling back your power. It's a card of expressing your truth, no matter what it is. It's a card of sharing your soul's voice and singing the song that you came here to sing. This is a card of activation. It's a call to action, and it's a remembrance. You're the child of the ancient goddess. As you express yourself, you express for all who could not. As you reclaim your power, you do so for all those who cannot. Each shackle you break through, you free those who are yet to come. Share your voice, sing your song, dance your dance, and reclaim your power. This is what you came here for. So how are you being called to call back your power, express your truth, or to honor the cyclic nature within? Oh my gosh, oracle cards always are crazy to me, because you might have gotten a completely different outlook from that card, and that's okay. But oh my gosh, it's like the perfect card for a new moon circle from the Wild Woman Project. And not only that, I think it goes so well with the message of Gemini and its ruling planet Mercury. So crazy. I won't get huge into that just because I want to get into our meditation, but also I want you to take the time here to journal about that card for a moment. So like I said, I will post it on my social media after this if you want to take a closer look at that card. But for now, just pause me here, take a little second with your journal, maybe write down anything you wish to remember about what you got from the card or about the card in general. And then we'll get into our main meditation. Okay, so This meditation is called Turbulence. And as I said before, it is inspired by Adrienne Rich and her poem entitled the same, Turbulence. So go ahead and get comfortable here however you would like to take in this meditation, whether it's seated or laying down. If you need to get anything before we begin, please do so. And then as you're getting comfortable, I just want you to begin to turn back to those deep belly breaths, settling back into your space again, feeling the ground beneath you, knowing you can return to these deep breaths should you need to throughout the meditation. And whenever you do feel ready, go ahead and allow the eyes to close, allowing you to kind of slip back into that space that you found yourself within for your centering, maybe feeling that connection we created within ourselves one last time through the mind, the body, and the spirit. And as you settle and arrive, I'm going to share the poem with you one more time. You might get something different out of it, or you might just hear those same threads that you heard once before, but either way, allow the poem to wash over you. And then I will go right into our meditation from the poem. Turbulence by Adrienne Rich. There'll be turbulence. You'll drop your book to hold your water bottle steady. Your mind has mountains, cliffs of fall who never hang there. Let him watch the movie. The plane's supposed to shudder and shoulder on like this. It's built to do that. You're designed to tremble too. Else break higher, you climb. Trouble in mind, lungs labor. Heights hurl vistas. Oxygen hangs ready overhead. In the event, put on the child's mask first and breathe normally. Focusing on your breath, steadily breathing, and using it as an anchor and a focal point. Returning to those deep belly breaths. And can you even perhaps feel with every inhale that you take, allowing the breath to run down your body, maybe you can feel a center column. That column that runs from the crown of your head all the way through your torso, down through the sacrum, where the root chakra lies, and all the way down to the floor and through your seat. The center of your body, the center of the path that your breath is taking. Sometimes finding a center physically helps us find our center mentally. to return back to that place that you found within yourself during our centering. Following the breath with your focus and your awareness. Inhales and exhales. And as we sit here like this, honing our center, we can remember in this place of sensory stillness that we live on this planet, which is turning constantly on its axis, around and around, while going around the sun on a circular orbit or a center. Inhales and exhales. The fact that we can perceive stillness at all is kind of a miracle. We ourselves are flying through outer space together. And with the help of gravity, we are able to feel connected to the earth below us and able to then experience this feeling of grounding and this feeling of stillness. Taking an inhale and an exhale. Feeling that stillness beneath you, grounded, the earth below you. And even as we are hurling around the sun at this very fast pace, we can breathe normally. We sit in a circular shape together. Circle not unlike the shape of the globe and not unlike the shape of the orbit or the sun or the moon. What a thing to be alive in this profound mystery of life on earth, in this vast universe. Take an inhale and an exhale. Even our breath being like that circular pattern, an orbit throughout our bodies. And our wild woman poet, Adrienne Rich, begins her poem by saying, "There will be turbulence." And one almost wants to say, of course there will be, of course. As we live through all that we humans get to experience in our life, all of the changes and the tumultuous events, from falling madly in love, to dealing with our own mortality, to losing someone we love, to the inevitability of death, to witnessing war, feeling powerful in one moment and powerless in the face of the larger turbulence. Our poet says essentially that we are supposed to shudder, that we are built, designed to tremble, else we would break. So breathe normally. Taking an inhale and an exhale. Feel your center within you. And though we are far apart at the moment, we are still feeling the support of this circle around you, this circle of people all experiencing the same meditation within this new moon time. Take an inhale and an exhale. Feel the earth underneath you and the words of Adrienne Rich, who knew that someone in the future was going to read this. She wrote her poem to be read. This woman who lived through decades and decades. And she is writing from a depth of experience. To have turbulence in one's life, turbulence in the collective experience, and turbulence in one's own mind. Taking an inhale and an exhale. Can you breathe into this support and guidance from an elder wild woman who has seen some stuff, who speaks out of her tremendous experience, and know that you're designed to tremble too, else break. Taking an inhale and an exhale. Focusing your attention here in your center. You might begin to remember a time in the recent past where you were trembling. This could be literally or metaphorically. Go back to this time and live in it for a moment, though it might be uncomfortable. And as you are there in this moment of turbulence, hear her words. You are designed for that. Taking an inhale and an exhale. Maybe now you imagine yourself in the near future, or maybe even the long future. And imagine that there will come a time where there will be turbulence. And you, like the plane in the sky, are designed to shoulder on, to tremble and to shudder. And you hear those words. That's okay. That's part of it. Keep breathing here in this moment. Focusing on the inhale and the exhale. And keep feeling your center. At the end of her poem, Adrienne Rich essentially says, in the events, meaning in an emergency, put on the child's mask first. That oxygen mask that is built into planes, which is her metaphor essentially saying, make sure the children have what they need to survive first. You might pull up in your mind's eye an image or images of a child or children that you care about. And Rich is saying, in the event of an emergency, look out for them first. Taking an inhale and an exhale. Feeling your center. Maybe even placing your palms somewhere on your torso to physically feel that center. And with your next few breaths, can you maybe send Adrian Rich gratitude out into the universe for scribbling down a few lines that we can put in our pockets for our turbulent times. Those times that we can expect to come, because there will be turbulence. But we know we can breathe normally. With your hands on your torso, feel that steadiness, feel that grounding, pulling your attention and your awareness back within yourself. Feeling that center one last time. Feeling where you are in the here and the now. Taking an inhale and an exhale. And staying here as long as you need to. When you are ready, gently allowing the eyes to peel open, and pause this video for a moment, turning towards your journal. Let yourself freely write or draw, doodle, anything that came to you, anything that you want to revisit later, anything you don't want to forget. So take a moment here to do that, and when you are ready, hit play again and we will move on. Okay, so at this point within Circle, normally we would have our Circle sharing time to kind of discuss and talk about what came up for us during that meditation, and to share our truths in a safe space with each other. But obviously in this form we can't do that, so I encourage you, in place of that, to maybe either, if you are doing this meditation with a friend, maybe you pause here and you share with each other, or maybe you pause here and you read what you wrote in your journal out loud to yourself and just put it out there into the universe. In whatever way you need to share, maybe just take a moment to do that now. And then we will move on into our intention settings for the cycle that is ahead of us. So I'm going to give you just a small little writing prompt here, but you can change it in any way, or you don't even have to follow it at all. But take a moment to look over everything you have journaled to this point, whether it be through your centering or our oracle card or what you came up with during our meditation, and kind of get a central theme and idea out of that to create this intention that you're going to move forward with. So if you want to maybe take a little piece of paper or write it down in your journal. And the prompt I'm going to give you is this. This moon cycle, I will breathe through the turbulence by, and then fill in the blank with whatever your intention is. How will you breathe through the turbulence during this moon cycle, this new moon in Gemini? This moon cycle, I will breathe through the turbulence by. And normally we would do a little ritual to kind of set in our intention here, but as we are not physically together, I encourage you to sit with your intention for a moment. Maybe tape it to your bathroom mirror where you will see it every morning, or maybe you want to do a little ritual where you center yourself and maybe burn it to release it out into the universe. Whatever you choose to do, just make sure you're really taking that intention to heart, and that you are taking it seriously and being honest with yourself. So as we move towards the end of our time together, if you need to take a moment and pause here to finish your intention, please do so. I should have said that. But as we move towards the end of our time together here, we're going to just close out with one last little centering and meditation, real short, to kind of close out everything. So if you would, if you have written your intention on a small piece of paper or maybe in your journal, maybe if you would press that against your chest. Taking an inhale and exhaling to allow the eyes to drop closed. Really taking one last moment to get in touch with the mind, body, and spirit connection that we created throughout our centering and throughout our meditation today. Feeling your intention pressed against your chest. And as you inhale, really writing that intention on your heart. Feeling that energy of not only your intention being spoken into the universe, but also the intentions of all the other brothers and sisters that we have enjoying this experience with you, setting their intentions also. Feeling that circular connection. Keeping the eyes closed, maybe releasing the hands, placing your intention to the side. Breathing once more, those long, deep belly breaths. And imagining that with every inhale, a light is growing in the center of your chest. See that light growing stronger and stronger with every breath you take. What color is your light? Is it moving or changing, or is it still? As you continue to breathe and taking in new fresh energy, your light amplifies more and more. and starts to shine out of your chest into the space that you are in, lighting up your space. Maybe now with each inhale, allow your awareness to float up into your ceiling or up into your sky, taking in a bird's eye view of your community and your world. Noticing that everyone has a heart light. See all of those lights moving around, and see this circle that we are in, all connecting. All of our lights connect through a thread or through an energy. Not everyone's lights may look the same, but we create this huge web, all connected. Take in a deep breath, and as you exhale, allow your awareness to drop back down, down, down into your space, and drop back down into your own body with your own heart light. Staying here within your own space for a moment, this heart light within you, but knowing that that connection you witnessed with others is always there. Taking in a big breath and exhaling to allow the eyes to open as we close out circle. We'll bring our prayer hands to heart center. Tonight we have honored not only ourselves, but the others who join us in meditation, and also our bodies where this entire universe dwells. A place that is love, peace, truth, and light. And when I am within that space in me, and you are within that space within you, it is like we are one. That light in me sees and honors the light within you. And as I blow out tonight's flame, allow that wild spirit to continue to burn within you. Namaste. Thank you so much for participating in this new moon meditation. The new moon starts officially for me in the time zone that I am in, May 30th at 7:30 a.m. and it might differ a little from you depending on where you're located. But thank you for joining me regardless, no matter when you are watching this. And you don't have to specifically enjoy this meditation on the day of the new moon either. There's a full moon cycle, and it's always great to check in with your intentions no matter what day it is. So the full moon will be coming around on June 14th, and I will post a little check-in with you on that day as well. Please feel free to share anything you feel like sharing in the comment section below. This is an open and safe space, and no negativity will be tolerated in it. So I just want to say once more, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to offer this to you. And also, as a reminder, make sure you are following me on social media. You can find the information for all that down in my bio below this video, and I will also post our card from our meditation that I pulled earlier, so you can take that in and see the imagery on that a little bit better as well. So thank you for joining me. I hope you have a lovely new moon in Gemini, and also a lovely moon cycle heading forward, and I hope all of your intentions stay with you throughout that cycle. I will look forward to seeing you all next time, and have a great day.